Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at this beautiful golden throwing knife. Wow, look at the way that's stuck into the wall. That is actually a legendary throwing knife with penetrator augment. How incredible is this? Very, very rare to find. Only like 0.00001% of people have this weapon, this grenade. And that is because it is modded. So, honestly, I don't know why, or at least as far as we know right now, there is no legendary throwing knife because there's a legendary grenade ordnance. So I don't understand why we don't have a legendary throwing knife. However, this is what, quote unquote, is a perfect knife to have. Its perks are, we have the damage and payload, obviously, penetrates augment, obviously, but then we also have bloodthirsty. Grenade lifesteal is increased by 17%. It also has the lifeblood perk attached to it, which obviously has all things to do with lifesteal, health, healing, etc. So all in all, just the absolute perfect throwing knife. And this is my original one, as you can see here. So my original one has express, which is grenade cooldown duration is reduced by 20%, which I actually really like as well, because if I'm running around throwing knives at like badasses and I run out of knives, I want to make sure I've got them more often. But I have action fist on it, which isn't really particularly that good. It's fine, but it's not incredible. So I am happy to have this legendary throwing knife, obviously. But let's talk about, in general, mods, modded weapons, nerfs to builds, because I think there's a whole discussion there to be had, because people say, why are you nerfing it? It's PvE game. And I have some opinions. So, are modded weapons, modded armor, modded gear really bad for the game? Yes, of course they are. Absolutely. Just for the simple fact that we have... That was a bad shot, that was. We have the potential for, DLC continued support. Now, the problem is that DLC gaming in general costs a lot of money, costs a lot of energy, costs a lot of hours. People are employed for hundreds and hundreds of hours. There's crunch, there's deadlines, there's all these things that go into making a game, which really should be considered when the game is being played. So, for instance, the DLCs that are coming out, right? What is the point in them putting money or effort or time into DLCs when they're just going to be destroyed in a literal second by modded weapons and stuff? I can see the argument for this is bad for the game. This shotgun is good, but not that good, to be fair. But on the other hand, I also see the argument of it's a PvE game. So, why should people sacrifice their fun when it's not harming anyone? And I also agree with that. And it's just weird that already in this game, we have the problem with modded weapons. Like, everyone kind of like guessed there'd be broken nerfs. I mean, it's Borderlands at the end of the day. There's always going to be broken stuff. So it's like, okay, we get that. Those things can kind of be fixed and changed and balanced and things like that. But when it comes to modded weapons, the only real plausible way to prevent that is to ban people or just like, oh my god, I'm gonna die because there's nothing easy for me to kill with my weapon. Oh, just about got out of it. Come here. Ooh. I can't shoot. My gun's not working. Oh, come on. So when it comes to modding, it's like, okay, how do you prevent it? How do you stop it? You either ban people or, and I'm assuming every like kind of weapon has some kind of unique ID code. So like if a developer gets a hand on one of the weapons and then can see what that is now described as inside the game. I'm not a developer, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what I'm talking about. But the only way they can do that is then just delete everything with that unique code. That seems to be the only way that I can think would fix it. But then again, like I said, I understand the argument of it's a PvE game. It just seems like it's you can't win. There's no winning battle. Like, people don't want it nerfed, changed, deleted. Probably is going to happen. People are going to hate, be mad, be upset, but then they're going to play the game anyway. Because Borderlands is very good at kind of balancing the game in terms of this will be broken for a good while, then we're going to change it, find something else, that will be broken for a while, and then it'll be like, okay, we finally getting to the point where there are a lot of good balances but we need something new, something different. So they'll introduce stuff with DLC. And that's kind of the reason why I wanted to talk about DLC and upcoming content, because I'm sure Borderlands developers know their game is going to be broken. Every Borderlands in history has been broken, but I don't think it's what they strive for. It's just like a happy accident that comes alongside of it. Where is this last person? Oh, he's still up there. I thought I killed him. Come here. Oh my god, that was a terrible throw. Pow. So yeah, now let's talk about nerfs and builds and stuff. So nerfs and builds balancing, I think, is a good idea because, like I said, the meta needs to change. It can't all just be like, oh, crit knife kills everything forever, because then there's no point in ever playing any other build on Vex, right? So for me, crit build forever, stays forever. Nothing else. Don't need minions. Don't need the little doggy. You know. But then again, they've put time and hours and spent loads of money to build those specific animations of the character, the skills and all that stuff. So they want to see it utilized. So I think, like, with something like mods, obviously there's like a, oh, okay, this is really bad. While I think nerfs and buffs should happen in Borderlands, I don't think it's as important as getting rid of the modded stuff. You know, anything that can do, has an interaction that isn't intended, let's put it that way. So when it comes to the skill tree for Vex and the crit knife bleed build, the interaction with the bleed kind of replicating over and over again is meant to do that. But I don't think they understood the actual thing that would happen when people broke it. So they will have to change how that bleed works. This isn't a modded weapon. This is damage stacking glitches that anyone can do as long as they have the weapon. It completely voids the entire game. So I think glitches like this, the Vladoff SMGs, all the things like underbarrel attachments can cause incredible amounts of damage. I think those need to be changed, fixed, nerfed, if you want to call it that, or have other things buffed up to be of a similar viability. But having this weapon now, especially with the kind of videos I make, this is just the easiest way for me to do things. And then I don't get to play my character, I don't get to play my build. And it's like, yeah, you have that choice, but obviously, you know, I'm in a different situation where making videos is priority for me. So doing those videos as fast and as efficient as possible is obviously going to help me more. So look, my gun now, over that little bit of time, is doing 100,000 damage. If I can hit people. 125,000 damage that was on that person. Just from reload animation, damage stack glitching. So I think if they're going to change and nerf things, I think there's got to be a way somehow for them to either remove modded weapons completely, or armors or whatever, or somehow kind of make sure that those people don't join other people's games so that it can't spread. You know what I mean? Like, people can't give it to other people and then those people can't give it to other people. I don't know, it sounds harsh, I understand, I really do, because it is a PvE game. I just feel like with the time, effort, energy, money, everything they put into a game like this, they're not going to want it spoiled by something. When it comes to nerfs, to builds, I think that does need to happen. I don't think it needs to be right away, you know, but there are things like the doggo for Vex, like I said, that is just really bad. Like, it's just terrible. I would like to see that be able to be build viable for endgame. So I think there's a lot of choices there to be made with skill trees. And then when it comes to like damage glitches and stuff, I think they should be fixed pretty much straight away, because it just ruins the game. It just ruins the game. I don't use this weapon when I'm not doing videos, but I still feel just like, oh, well, that's just the easier option. I might as well do that. But anyway, let me know what you think about nerfs and stuff like that. What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for watching. I've been Easy Now. You guys have been awesome.